Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Knowledge Drop. We are talking about early childhood education today, and I'm with some wonderful ladies. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Go ahead, Frankie.
Hi, I'm Frankie Pizzuto. I am with United Way of Cascade County. I'm a community impact specialist, and my focus is early childhood success.
And I'm Deb Hustis, and I work at Great Falls College. I am the Early Childhood Education Program Director. So we have an early childhood associate's degree there, and that's what I do. And I've worked in early childhood for years and years and years and years.
Forever.
Forever.
Awesome. Well, then you guys are the perfect people for today's episode. So when we're talking about early childhood education, what years are you guys meaning early childhood?
So early childhood is birth through age 8.
Okay.
That's the designation of early childhood. At about 8, the brain goes through a change, and
Okay.
that's how we make that differentiation between
Okay.
middle childhood and early childhood.
Awesome. And what is different about early childhood education compared to elementary school or daycare or preschool? Those kind of words you hear thrown around.
Well, so I mean, we've gone through an evolution. I think early childhood is where we've hit now, like early childhood ed. We just have it's a different system that works early childhood.
Okay.
And we consider K through 3rd grade teachers early childhood educators
Okay,
too.
so some of that elementary
So
as well.
some of that elementary. It's just that brain development that happens.
Okay.
It just happened that the government said we're going to start school at 5, and that's where we got that. So early childhood, really, when people think about it, is that birth through 5, but it does encompass those 3 years of 6, 7, 8.
Okay. And why do you guys find those years most important, most pertinent?
Oh, goodness. How much time do we have?
Go for
it. So research, we have a huge explosion of research lately. You know, technology grows. That means we have more ability to see things. And right now, the research shows that from birth through age 5, the brain is in its most rapid growth. So we every second of a child's life, there are 1 million neural connections being made.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So there's an explosion of brain development, and that continues through age 5.
So
Yeah.
when you're looking for early childhood education or somewhere to place your child and you're trying to take that into consideration, what kind of things should you look for in a facility?
One of the most important things is licensing. We want to make sure that childcare facility is licensed. Going along with state regulations, health regulations, and all that kind of stuff. That's
Okay.
one of the most important things. And quality is a huge contribution to that as well.
Okay.
So if a program is licensed, that means that they're regulated by the state, that they're following all the health and safety regulations that the federal government sends down to the state, that the state sends down to programs. That means that they all have CPR first aid, they've all got background checks, they do continuing ed, they have to get 16 hours of continuing ed hours every
Okay.
year to maintain that license, which goes into that quality. If you have a quality program, that means that teachers are using relationship-based care, child-centered care. It means that they're giving children experiences that lay that foundation, build those neural connections, all of that.
Wow. And what's the state of our child care right now? Is there an abundance of education for our kids? Is there not enough? What do we look like in Great Falls?
So we, in Great Falls, there is a shortage. It is
Okay.
a nationwide shortage.
Yes.
Nationwide.
It's
Yeah.
nationwide. It is everywhere. It's tough to get into. There are huge wait lists for quality care. It costs a lot of money because it's not, unlike public education, which is subsidized by the government, most of our early care facilities are privately owned businesses.
Okay.
And it's got a wonky business model. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's not broken. We don't want to say it's broken, but there's definitely room for improvement, and that's going to take the community saying, hey, this is important that our children have safe places, quality places, places that build their brains. We're going to come together, rally, and we're going to really emphasize the importance of early childhood.
Okay,
Mhm.
and do you think we're just not there yet, or we just need more awareness of it, or?
I think it's both. I think
Okay.
we need an awareness. I think what happens is you don't think about childcare until
Mhm.
you need childcare.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you have a school levy, you have people who said, well, my kids are already gone to school. Why do I have to pay for other people's kids? Right? So there's like, it's going to take it takes a family supported by a village to raise a child kind
Got
of
it.
mentality. And it definitely is a PR thing that we just show families. We got to look for quality, just not cheapest, and how can we help families afford that?
Mhm.
Because it is that foundation, right?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
everything. And I think it's also
We don't
Right
want to
with everything.
disagree.
It's not-
And I think as someone who has small children right now,
Yeah.
a 3 and a 2-year-old, I mean, I definitely I don't think I thought about childhood until I came to that. And so
Absolutely.
I think the importance of early childhood has grown, but I don't know if we're totally there yet.
Mhm.
But I think it takes a community and a village to raise a child. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and I
think-
love that saying. It's one of my favorite sayings.
Absolutely, it's so true.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely
And,
is true.
and I think trying to connect those dots, right? Like, of showing, yeah, you don't have children. However, eventually, like I tell people, part of why I do this work is someday I'm going to be in an old folks' home.
Mhm.
I want empathetic, well knowledgeable people caring for me when I can't remember who I am.
Mhm.
And we know through research that compassion and empathy and foundation of higher level thinking and cognitive skills happens in early childhood.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little self-serving. When someone's changing my diapers, I want them to remember, oh, Miss Deb changed my diapers, right? Like this whole thing. So it's just making that connection of eventually these children are going to be in the workforce.
Yeah. Yes.
And eventually they're going to be citizens and running our country.
Yeah,
And so,
they're our future.
right,
Absolutely.
our return of investment is going to take 18 years to see, but I think that it's
Mhm.
important to
Yeah.
make that connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Which kind of leads me to my next question of the lack of childcare resources, or not resources, but opportunity out there in our environment, in our community. How do you think that affects our businesses in Great Falls?
I think it ties back to being, a lot of people kind of like to say we're early childhood educators are the workforce of the workforce.
Yeah.
We like to think of us as part of the infrastructure to the economy, without a childcare business, or we might not have workers in a workplace,
Mhm.
kind of that aspect. So, yeah.
Yeah, when we talk to business owners, they can't find a lot of their things are we can't find workers because there's no housing and there's no childcare. So those are two things that United Way is working impactfully of how do we build this, right? And the chamber and the development of alliance. How do we meet housing needs and how do we meet childcare needs?
Mhm.
And so we know through research, sorry, I'm a hand talker.
No, you're good.
We know through research and talking to people and the studies that have been done that when a worker has quality child care
Mhm.
and they are trusted and they're confident that they make better workers, there's less turnover, there's less absenteeism because they know that they have placed their child somewhere and they can focus on their work.
Yep, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Did we have any questions from viewers? All right, if you are watching live, we do take questions in the comments. If you have any questions for Frankie or Deb from United Way about early childhood education, we will take those and answer them here. My next question is, what challenges are you seeing in early childhood education?
Oh boy.
How much time do we have?
Again, how much time do you have? Actually, so there's two components to what we're seeing in the workforce. It's compensation.
Yes.
Because the child care, early childhood ed field is a wonky business model, like you can't increase your product to increase your profit. Like state regs say you can only care for this many children and you have to have this many adults for those children. Their child cares are working on a very thin margin, yeah, and so there's no subsidy other than Best Beginning Scholarships, which just reimburses for the care.
Got it.
Right, so their overhead is huge. From what parents pay, programs have to pay their rent, utilities,
Mhm.
food, all of that, right? And so compensation is tough because there's no subsidy, and so it's hard to pay a living wage.
Yeah.
Like 82% of childcare workers are on public assistance,
Wow.
right? And so it's hard to attract workers, and it's hard work.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're an owner, you're the cook, the cleaner, the grocery shopper. Home providers get up at 6, they care for kids, they start caring for kids at 7. The last child leaves at 6, now they have to clean and grocery shop, so they do all of that. It's hard work, and it's just the public persona is that all we do, all early childhood professionals, you're just playing, or you're having snacks, or you're babysitting. But indeed, we have enriching activities, we give them experiences, we have programs that take them on field trips. And so that compensation is the big one, right? But we also know that families can't pay more. So there's this saying, right? Workers can't make less, families can't make more. So how do we fix that compensation piece? How do we, again, come together as a community to support our early childhood programs? Then the other place is workplace culture, which they don't feel confident because the general public doesn't see them as important or essential, right? Unless you have children, you don't understand how essential your child care is. And so there's this persona, but it's hard work, and it's hard to find employees, and the turnover rate is huge. And it's just that, how do we build this culture of, hey, you guys are awesome, you're doing an amazing job, we love you, and we can't do anything without you. Not that you can't do anything with it, right? But just this appreciation thing. So compensation and workplace culture are two of the biggest challenges right now.
Okay. And what resources do we have to help with that?
Locally, I feel like we have a fair bit of resources. Family Connections is a huge one. They put out, or they send out a referral guide, right? Reference guide? Resource guide.
That's right.
She's like,
It
I
starts
know
with an
something.
R.
It's a
Yeah.
word. It starts with an R.
Resource guide, and then local places we have like Benchmark, DEEP, which is development education. Finish it for me.
You got this.
I don't know. I don't have. You know what? Caitlin says
can
it all the
Google it.
time, and
She does. Yeah, I should know it, and it's right on the tip of my tongue. We have the library, Spark Children's Museum. Their hours are fluctuating right now, but they're on their way to being fully open for the public, so that's exciting. And plenty other places. City County Health does a lot of things.
Family Connections has
Yeah.
the resource, but they also house the Best Beginning Scholarship Fund. So,
Okay.
so if you meet an income guide, then the state will pay for part of your child care or all of your child care, just
Okay.
depending, especially if you're working or a student. So it really depends on what resources. If you're looking for activities, like Frankie said, there's Spark, the library, County City Health can help out with things. There's just a lot of resources, just depending on what. And if you call Family Connections, they will say, "Oh, this is because it's in their name." They, a resource and referral.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
But as far as like workplace, we know that the more education and training providers have to address, we're seeing a lot of challenging behaviors for a multitude of reasons. The kindergarten class that started last year are our first COVID kindergarten class, and so that's brought some interesting behaviors. But even the little guys who were born during COVID who are still in childcare, I mean, they spent 2 years not socializing,
Yeah.
and they hit preschool, and now they're essentially socially development, just a baby, and now we're thrown in with a bunch of 3-year-olds, and they're like, what are all these people doing? Right, so there's a lot of challenging behaviors, but we know that the more education, and so like there's training that providers go through, and the program at the college is really helpful. We know that education helps with classroom management, and that will help with that turnover and just giving providers that support.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Was there anything else we want to plug about childhood education? If someone wants to get involved and become a provider, how would they do that?
Oh, becoming a provider. So if you reach out to Spark Early Learning, they are the provider support for the state.
Different than the Children's Museum.
Which is different than the
Got
Children's
it.
Museum.
We don't
Yeah, so
talk.
there's two. Yeah, so Spark, the Children's Museum, is local, and Spark Early Learning is the provider support, and so they do new provider support. But you can also go to the Early Childhood Services website and click on licensing, and it will take you
Okay.
through that process. But but there's lots of supports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
And if anybody's interested in the program,
Yes.
Oh, in the program, I would know
The
if I
early
should
childhood-
plug the program.
I'll plug it.
Okay.
the early childhood program at Great Falls College, MSU, they're great. I love Great Falls College, so I might be a little bit biased, but the program has been really great in my opinion.
Right, and so we also know that not only does it give them the skills to work in the classroom, but it's also there's that compensation piece. If we can elevate the field as a whole
Yes.
and say, oh, we also have to have degrees, we have degrees, and that just shows the value even more. I mean, it's a balance, right? You have to be good with kids. You can't just have the knowledge, but if you, right, you don't hire a plumber that doesn't have all the paperwork and hasn't been an apprentice or whatever, which then also leads to Early Child has an apprenticeship program through the Department of Labor and Industry.
Okay.
And that's a compensation piece too. And we are, the
Mhm.
Great College is a site
Okay.
to get those work hours.
Awesome.
Lots of
Yeah.
resources. We
Yes.
just have to get it out there.
Yes, we can do that. We can help. Anything we didn't touch on that you guys wanted to make sure we mentioned?
I think I'm good.
Oh, so speaking of brain stuff. So sorry. Yes, there is. As a matter of fact. So here's the thing too, is that we know that it's not just early childhood providers. Families are children's first teachers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we really value and respect families as that. I always tell my students, you can't take the child out of the family dynamic and expect them to learn. You have to include that family. And so even if you are lucky enough not to work and be able to stay home with your children, there's an amazing app out there called Vroom, VROOM.
Okay.
Yes.
Not the turquoise car Vroom,
Okay.
but the orange Vroom.
Okay.
And it's just a free app that you can download on your phone, and it just sends brain building activities
Oh, wow.
to you that uses no extra material. And this is not an ad; it's totally free.
Yeah.
And it just, you can set up to 6 children. You can set up categories. You can open it up while you're waiting in the doctor's office and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, can Alexa has a skill for the room?" And it's just a way to help families build their children's brains
Okay.
Yeah.
outside of school.
It's super cool. I've
That's
used
so
it like
cool.
one of the main places I've used it is at the grocery store. If I'm like in the middle of like almost meltdown mode,
Yeah.
I can hop on the app, and now I don't even use the app as much because it's just in my head.
Yeah.
But when I first started, I'd open up the app, go to the little at the grocery store tab, and I'd find an activity, and it's like, let's find the color red, or like little things that maybe you don't think of, and it's been a way for me to de-escalate situations so easily, and I've loved it. So
And
that's
it
cool.
tells the brain science too. So
Yeah.
not only it gives you the activity, but then it also tells you what's happening in your child's brain.
yeah,
Of how
Cool.
that's going to help as they get in later in life,
I love
right?
that.
So they have all this research, right? Those that when we're interacting with it in a caring relationship, our neurons are just firing all the time,
Yeah.
and that's what's making that brain growth. And
it's
so,
called the
Oh, that's
brain
really cool.
background.
yep, being
Love that.
and it's great, and it's from the Washington University of Washington, and they have this huge machine that you put on the. It's very cool. You can go look at it.
How
it's called
cool.
the Meg. Yeah, I mean, the science behind early childhood is just exploding and fascinating. And if you get me started, we'll be here all day.
I love that. I love it. Any questions, Ariel, that came in? All right, guys. Anything else?
I don't
no,
think
I think
so.
we covered a lot. Thanks so
Okay,
much for
yeah,
having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sitting down with me.
Thank
We're
you.
super
Yeah.
excited. If you have any questions, make sure you can comment and I can reach out to these ladies and get those answers for you. Thanks again. Sweet. Thank you
That was
guys.
all over the place.